Good morning, Year 3. So it's Wednesday, the 3rd of February, and we will be starting our maths lesson in a minute. But first of all, I thought we'd just have a little bit of fun this morning by having a go at a little puzzle. So I love catchphrase. A little bit sad, but I love Stephen Mulhern as well. I think he's really funny. And as a family, we love it when catchphrase is on a Saturday. So I thought we'd have a go at a little bit of a maths catchphrase. So on the board, on your screen, you should see 4 catchphrases, so some pictures, and they make up a maths related word. So there's 4 on the screen, so you might want to pause the video in a minute and have a go at trying to work them out. The first person from each class to message either myself or Mr. Banwell the correct 4 answers will be the winner, and there may be a little prize up for grabs that I will post to you. So the first person who messages in with the 4 correct answers. So work out the maths related phrase. Okay, so today we are carrying on with subtraction. Now you might see behind me, I'm at the beach. I'm not really, obviously, but I thought I would like to be at the beach. So I thought we could pretend that the maths lesson this morning is at the beach. So we've got the sea behind us, clear blue skies, and we're going to have a fantastic maths lesson. So today's date, as I said, is the 3rd of February. And our WOLT for today is to use column subtraction for 2 3-digit numbers when exchanging is required in the hundreds column. So last lesson, we focused on exchanging in the tens column. So everything you learned yesterday is really going to help you in today's lesson. So just pause the video, write the date and WOLT, and have a think about all that vocabulary that we learnt yesterday. So let's have a little bit of a recap. So recap of learning. Yesterday we looked at exchanging in the tens column. So that's what we're going to recap quickly before we move on. So our question is 863 subtract 547. So just pause the video and have a go at that subtraction calculation. So I've set up my calculation here. So I've remembered that place value is really important, and I could have actually put my 100, tens and ones to make sure that I've lined those digits up correctly. Then I've got my minuend, my whole first, and then I'm subtracting my subtrahend, 547. So let's have a go. 3 ones subtract 7 ones. Well, the ones digit in the minuend is less than the ones digit in the subtrahend, so I need to exchange 1 10 for 10 ones. So I've now got 13 ones. 13 subtract 7, hopefully you've put 6. 5 tens subtract 4 tens, we can do that. That leaves us with 1 10, and 800 subtract 500 leaves us with 3 hundreds. So the correct answer is B, 316. So today I've got slightly less examples for us to work through together, as actually everything we learnt yesterday is going to help us today. So hopefully if I do a few less examples, then you've got more time to have a go at the do it and the go deep and go deeper questions. So let's have a look at this one. 727 subtract 354. So I've already set it up correctly, just as Colin tells us to. So we line up the ones with the ones, the tens with the tens, and the hundreds with the hundreds. So my minuend is 727 and my subtrahend is 354. So let's have a look at our ones. 7 subtract 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I can do that, that's absolutely fine. And I can use my number facts. I know what 7 subtract 4 is, so it's 3. So I'm left with 3 ones. Now I'm going to subtract my tens. 2 tens, 20, subtract 5 tens, 50. Can we do that at the moment? No, so I need to exchange 100. So I'm just going to pop this over here, 100 for 10 tens, because we know that 10 tens is the same as 100. So I'm going to put my 10 tens here. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. I've got 10 tens. So I've exchanged 100. So I've now got 600s, which you can see here, for 10 tens. So I've now got 12 tens, which you can see represented underneath my tens column. So now I can calculate 12 tens, 120, subtract 5 tens, 50. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've subtracted 5 tens. So I'm left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tens. And hopefully you can use your number facts to work that out in your head. So 12 subtract 5, 12 tens subtract 5 tens equals 7 tens. Now I'm going to have a go at my hundreds. So 600 subtract 300. So 100, 200, 300. So I'm left with 300s. So the answer to that calculation is 373. Let's have a go at another one. 727 subtract 462. So where are we going to start? Hopefully you're saying at your ones, in your ones column. So 7 subtract 2. Can we work out that calculation? Yes, we can. So subtract 2 ones. I'm left with 5 ones. So I'm going to put 5 in here. Now I need to subtract my tens. So 2 tens subtract 6 tens. I can't do that. My minuend 10 is less than my subtrahend 10. So I need to exchange. So Coco is going to help us here with this stem sentence. I only have 2 tens. So I need to exchange 100 for 10 tens. So I'm going to exchange 100 for 10 tens. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we know 10 tens is 100, don't we? So we've exchanged one of our hundreds. So I'm left with 600 for 10 tens. So I've now got 12 tens. So 12 tens subtract 6 tens. Hopefully we can use our number facts here and we can see some doubling. So we know 6 add 6 equals 12. So we are left with 6 tens. 12 subtract 6 equals 6 tens. So now we're going to subtract our hundreds. 6 hundreds subtract 400. 100, 200, 300 and 400. So I'm left with 200. So the answer to 727 subtract 462 is 265. Okay, shall we try one more? So this time we've got 803 and we are subtracting 213. So let's have a go at the ones first. We're always starting with our ones. So 3 ones subtract 3 ones. Can we do that? Yes. So 1, 2, 3. How many ones am I left with? I haven't got any ones, but I need to show that with a 0. I've got 0 ones. Okay, now I'm going to subtract my tens. 0 tens, subtract 1 10. I definitely haven't got enough tens, so I need to exchange 100 for 10 tens. So just like I've done in the previous examples. So I've got 5 tens at the moment, 6 tens, 7 tens, 8 tens. Oh, don't want to move the place value chart, do we? It's not a good idea. Can anyone notice the mistake I've just made? I hope you're all shouting at your screens. I know you would be in class, you'd be telling me off. I have put ones in the tens column. I didn't mean to do that. Let's get rid of those ones. I'm exchanging 100 for 10 tens, not 10 ones. Silly Mrs. Barnes. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So 10 tens. So I've exchanged one of my hundreds. So I'm now left with 7 hundreds. And I've exchanged it for 10 tens. So I've now got 10 tens, subtract 1 10. So I can now work out that calculation. And I'm left with 9 tens. Now I'm going to subtract my hundreds. So 700 subtract 200. 100, 200. How many hundreds am I left with? 500. So the answer to 803 subtract 213 is 590. Okay, let's have a go at Colin's mistake, okay? Because we know he struggles a little bit with his maths and we need to help him. So Colin thinks that he has worked out this calculation correctly. 318 subtract 127 equals 231. So just pause the video, have a go at working out that calculation and see if you can notice where Colin has gone wrong. What mistake has he made? So let's have a look together. Hopefully you can see that he's definitely incorrect and you've noticed why. So let's start with our ones. So 8 subtract 7 equals 1. So he's got that bit correct. So that part, so subtracting the ones, Colin has got right. So well done, Colin. Let's have a look at the tens. 1 10 subtract 2 tens equals 3 tens. Can that be right? Well, we've got more tens than we started with in our minuend. I don't think that's correct. What's Colin done there? I think he's added them. So he's forgotten that he's subtracting. He thought, or he forgot, and he added those digits instead. So he's added 1 10 and 2 tens, which would give you 3 tens. But we are subtracting, Colin. So let's help him out. What do we need to do here? Well, we've got 1 10 and we need to subtract 2 tens. So I'm going to have to exchange here. So I'm exchanging 100. So I'm left with 200. And I've now got 11 tens. So 11 subtract 2 equals 9 tens. 11 tens subtract 2 tens equals 9 tens. So I'm going to cross that out because it's not 3. Let's have a look at the hundreds. 200 subtract 100 equals, not 200, Colin, 100. So the correct answer to 318 subtract 127 is 191. So Colin just forgot that he was subtracting. So we need to be really careful in our do it questions, and I'll go deep and go deeper today, that we remember that we are subtracting, and that's really important. Okay, your turn. So you're going to have a go at these 4 do it questions. So just remember everything we've learned, and I've put some helpful tips at the side. So Colin's reminding you to line up your digits correctly here. He's also reminding you that if the tens digit in the minuend, so our whole in the minuend, is less than the tens digit in the subtrahend, I need to exchange 100 for 10 tens. So we're trying to work out the difference, aren't we? Okay, so if the minuend 10 is less than the subtrahend 10, we're going to have to exchange in our hundreds column. And then Coco here has got a STEM sentence that you can use while you're working out your questions, just to remind you what you need to do. So have a go at those 4 questions and then we'll go through the answers together. So let's have a look at how you got on. So we'll start with 729, subtract 348. So we're starting with our ones. 9 subtract 8 ones equals 1 1. 2 tens subtract 4 tens. Well, our 10 in our minuend is less than the 10 in our subtrahend, so I need to exchange. So I'm going to exchange 100 for 10 tens. So 12 tens subtract 8. I nearly gave the answer then, didn't I? 12 tens subtract 4 tens equals 8 tens. And then 600 subtract 300 equals 300. So give yourself a tick if you got that one right. Okay, let's move on to this one. 716 subtract 436. 6 subtract 6, because we're starting in our ones column. That's going to leave me with 0 ones. 110 subtract 3 tens. We need to exchange our hundreds here. So I'm going to exchange 100 for 10 tens. So I've now got 11 tens. 11 subtract 3 equals 8. So 8 tens. And then 600 subtract 400. I'm going to be left with 200. So the answer is 280. Let's have a look at the third question. 9 ones subtract 7 ones. We can work that one out. So that's going to leave me with 2 ones. 0 tens subtract 2 tens. I'm going to have to exchange again here. So I'm exchanging 100 for 10 tens. So I've now got 10 tens. 10 tens subtract 2 tens leaves me with 8 tens, and 700 subtract 400 leaves me with 300. So the answer is 382. And the last question, 8 ones subtract 3 ones equals 5 ones. 0 tens subtract 3 tens. I'm going to have to exchange. So I'm going to exchange 100 for 10 tens. So I've now got 10 tens subtract 3 tens, which equals 7 tens, and 600 subtract 400, which equals 200. So the answer is 275. Okay, hopefully you got most of those correct. If you want a little bit more practice, then on your Class Dojo sheet, you have got a few extra do it questions that you can have a go at. And then you've got your go deep and go deeper. So again, Colin has made a mistake and he needs your help to work out the correct answer and to try and help him notice where he's gone wrong. And if possible, just like yesterday, try and use the language that we have been using in this lesson in your explanation. And then your go deeper is an always, sometimes, never true question. So please remember to send in a piece of work today, and it could be your maths work. And don't forget to send in the answers to those 4 catchphrase questions if you haven't already. Have a lovely day. Any questions, please just message. See you later. Bye, everybody.